Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Call Box. It's where you go for police info. I'm your host, Lieutenant Vince Lewis, once again coming to you from Phoenix Police Headquarters in beautiful downtown Phoenix with the co-host back in the chair.
Back in it.
PIO Sgt. Rob Scherer.
It's good to be back, boss.
Let's do this.
I know. Exciting.
All right, we're going to talk about a very important topic. It's timely. It's actually a city ordinance that changed. City ordinance, it's 36-128, has to do with crossing, stopping of the roadway.
Yeah, kind of, I guess in our world, kind of a smaller change, but obviously the impact we're hoping will be significant safety-wise and really keeping citizens much safer, whether they're out there, walking around in the roadway.
No, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about safety. We're talking about pedestrians, vehicles, traffic interactions, and so forth. And it's not so much the ordinance of the design or how you do things that is change. It's actually our side of the coin that's going to change, right? The police side, the enforcement side.
Right. So in this circumstance, you can be cited. There's no need for us to warn in any way, shape, or form. We still lead through education, safety. Those are our primary focuses, and that's kind of why it changed. And really, we can come up and cite first offense, first cite. So,
well, I've been around for a minute. You've been around for a minute, but I'm not going to fancy myself the expert.
No.
So for that reason, we brought in a subject matter expert, good friend of mine, Lieutenant Seth Jahnke. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so you're with the Vehicular Crimes Unit.
Yes, sir.
So your purview, you have detectives underneath you that investigate collisions on the roadway.
Yeah, we do all fatality collisions and serious injury collisions.
Okay, but you've got some of the most advanced tech, I think, when it comes to accident reconstruction that we've seen. I mean, you guys pioneered our drone program pretty much. I mean, when you started doing the photography and things, even ahead of some of the tactical stuff, and you've got a tactical background too.
Slight, yes.
But tell us what you've seen since you've gotten there. What wowed you when you took the role over at VCU?
The detectives, by far. I never realized the technical aspect of that. I have always enjoyed wrecks. Traffic's always been my thing. It's always been fun. Kind of runs in the family. I think every junkie that's been on the department has been a motor. Mm-hmm. I liked going to wrecks, and I liked seeing the dynamics. When I really learned what those detectives do, it floored me. The math behind it, the investigative skills behind it, it's unbelievable. It's impressive.
Yeah, I second that. I mean, I didn't get exposed to that, and really my exposure is minimal compared to yours, boss. But as a PIO, when you look at that and you're like, when you say accident reconstruction process or collision reconstruction process, and you try to explain that to the public, and you're like, I can't even explain it. The math that goes into the element and the level of expertise and knowledge, it's something. Let's be frank. Sergeant Rob Scheer's not doing any part of that to get to that element, but just really impressive.
So most officers are used to reconstructing an accident on that tiny little box on the back of an accident form. Yeah. You draw a little picture of a car and two cars occupy the same space at the same time, and that's reconstruction. Right. That's nothing like what my detectives do. The marks in the roadways, the laying out speeds with mathematical formulas that are like that meme to me with all the stuff going on in the background. It's impressive.
Yeah, I can imagine. So we have a lot of a lot of talent and a lot of attention and so much expertise in that area. I know from our experience, a lot of what we get asked about in the media side is about collisions and things that are going on the roadway. I think one of the top public records that are being requested are accident reports. Yeah. So you guys are busy. When I was on the streets of PIO, I remember you guys were always out there, not only working your 40, but then beyond. Do you guys sleep?
Sleep comes on rotation. When you're on call, there's not always a lot of sleep.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, so we're going to talk a little bit more about the ordinance change and how enforcement is going to change. We're going to dig a little bit about your family, your past, like you mentioned, and some of the things that you've seen and done. I think it's interesting. I think our audience would like to hear about that. But we're going to take a break. So when we come back from the break, we will address those things in the change in the new city ordinance 36-128. So stick around until after the break. We'll be right back.
I'm a busy mom. I'm also a Phoenix police officer devoted to keeping our community safe.
I'm a Little League coach. And I'm a Phoenix police detective and a part of the team here too.
Find endless career options with one of America's best large employers.
Welcome back to the call box. We're talking about a change in City Ordinance 36128, having to do with crossing the roadways, and officers now have the discretion to cite upon first offense. So we brought our subject matter expert back, Lieutenant Seth Jahnke from the Vehicular Crimes Unit. Can you talk a little bit about this ordinance, or what you've seen, at least when it comes to pedestrians and the vehicles on the roadway, and how effective do you think this change might be?
Sure. So the change in the ordinance is pretty easy, really. In the past, anybody who was standing on a median had to be issued a warning. So the problem with that is, on the PD side, it was kind of difficult to track warnings sometimes. We couldn't always find them. So it just became a warning cycle. You could warn people, but there was no enforcement behind it. The change basically says that now we can cite on first contact. Doesn't mean we have to. Officer discretion is always there, and it always should be there, right? So if you got somebody that just needs to be told, hey, move off the median, it's your discretion to do it. But that option to cite is there. What it comes down to is safety. When people are standing on the median, well, I'll put it this way. When a person comes in contact with a 2,000-pound car at anything over 15 miles an hour, the person typically loses. And if you're standing in the median,
physics, right?
There you go.
Again, that's not
it's dangerous.
That's not hard math. I think I can do that one. That makes sense. But we're talking about medians, right, boss? We're not talking about walkways, sidewalks. We're talking about the medians in the middle that they're not designed, they may be raised and a crosswalk may go through them, but we're not designed to stand on them, operate on them, walk on them, anything like that.
Correct. Yeah. They're not designed for people to be out there for any extended period of time. Now, there's usually a area of refuge, for lack of a better term. If you're halfway across a light and it changes, maybe you got to stand there for a minute, right? But it's not designed to spend plenty of time there. Cars will go over that very, very easy and hurt people.
I would imagine, and I'm not the expert again, but I would imagine a lot of time and effort goes into timing the light cycles just right to make sure that enough vehicles move through to clear the area. We have a responsibility as drivers to clear the intersection when we're through it, but at least to give our pedestrians time to get across. And how do you safely cross the intersection?
So the main thing is wait for the lights. Stand on the corner where it is safe to do so. There are engineers that design this stuff and national standards to keep people safe. Wait until the light is with you. Cross in a marked crosswalk. That's usually your best bet. And wait for the light to do it.
Does the button do anything?
So it does. There are some lights that are timed, for lack of a better term, that if you don't push that button, it won't give you a walk signal. There are others that do give you a walk signal no matter what, right? But always wait for that and always wait for that and follow the signals.
Let's talk about, because I think we all look at this as everybody taking care of everybody on this roadway, whether it's us enforcing a law change like this or a pedestrian crossing the roadway appropriately or safely. Let's talk about the other element of this equation in the cars. What do I need to do as a driver in a roadway to just make sure everybody's safe at all times?
So the first thing I'll say on that is watch your speed. There used to be signs up all around the valley that said speed kills, and it's true. The faster you go, the harder you hit. Speed is always a bad thing. Just when you look at the math behind it again, the time it takes you to travel distance is unbelievable the faster you go. Okay, you're traveling distance in no time at all. So speed is the first one. The second one is just pay attention. So we can set up crosswalks, we can set up whatever we want, but it doesn't mean people are always going to use them. Okay, and if somebody steps out in traffic, you need to be paying attention. You need to be ready to react.
Yeah, so we're trained drivers, really, for all intents and purposes. We do get asked a lot about road rage. How do you necessarily address or prevent road rage? And it seems self-evident for us, don't drive angry. And if things are going on that are getting you heated, slow down. I know you got to get some places, but do you get asked a lot in your position about road rage or how to do to address it or how to mitigate it?
So in my former position, I did when I was in charge of the enforcement angle, the motors. Yeah, we got that quite a bit. I don't get it so much now because we're there after the scene. You're 100% right on road rage. Don't drive angry and just calm down. Mm-hmm. Honestly, even if you get cut off in traffic, is it that big of a deal? It usually isn't. So let it go. That's the best advice I can give somebody. It's just not a big deal.
So this change, do you see, obviously it's going to be hard. We have such a fluctuation of collisions, and we talked about before we jumped on the episode today, kind of how your unit fluctuates, where one weekend your whole unit's decimated because you guys are out all night, and other weeks you go a week where everybody's safe on the roadway. What kind of things are you hoping for with kind of this change and seeing some of the enforcement and getting some of those people off the medians?
The first thing I hope for is that pedestrian collisions go down. We get a lot of pedestrian collisions in the city of Phoenix. If this helps, and it should, if we can keep people out of the roadway, collisions should go down. That'll make life easier for my guys and me, and keep people safe across the city.
So in some of the investigations, I remember when we would do collision investigations, you kind of mark what you think the contributing factors were, and visibility was one of them. So we're talking about collisions at night that happen, car pedestrian collisions that might happen on a roadway where there's not, the lights aren't so close together. Maybe there's not enough vehicles out there. There's very little ambient light. You know what I'm talking about? Can you kind of picture almost like in the northern Phoenix or some of the outlying areas of the Phoenix where if you're a pedestrian, you really got to keep your head on a swivel, right? So without necessarily saying it's the environment's fault, what is we as drivers, what's our obligation when it comes to visibility? How can we help ourselves look out for things in the roadway that might change in front of us when we're driving in a difficult situation where visibility is low?
Again, I'll go back to what I said before, speed. If you slow down, you see farther, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. When you're traveling really, really fast, you kind of outdrive your vision, and especially outdrive your headlights. That's the next one. Keep your lights on. We see people all the time that for whatever reason, they don't have their lights on. A big one is automatic lights now. Everybody assumes their lights are on, and you may even have your headlights on, but your taillights aren't on. Know your car. Okay. Worst case scenario, always flip that little switch and turn them on yourself. Then you're sure.
It just seems, it's wild to say this, it just seems a lot of commonsensical things coming together for us to take care of each other. And I think this is one of those things where officers, again, we're leading through safety. We're leading through, we want to educate people still and make people understand, but hopefully this sighting thing leads to less collisions, like you said, less pedestrian injuries, and just people taking care of each other in all parts of that equation.
Yeah, and we didn't even touch e-bikes and scooters. We'll probably have you back on the show to address that and the importance of that because, Christmas just came, and I think a lot of people are out there enjoying their new methods of mobility, but we want to make sure that we're safe about that. So, hey, Lieutenant Jahnke, Seth, we didn't get to talk about your family, but thank you for you and your family service. We appreciate that. I want to thank the crew for producing. I want to thank my co-host for being here. Just want to remind everybody you can catch the video versions of these shows on our YouTube channel. And as always, you too can help solve crime in your community by sending tips to Silent Witness. Visit silentwitness.org and call 480-WITNESS. Send those tips in, be a part of the solution. You can help find out about job opportunities to be a part of the solution here in the community. We are hiring. Go to joinphxpd.com. Follow us on all social media platforms. It's out there. We're usually at Phoenix Police. Make sure it's the official one, but let us know. Comment, like, subscribe, and whatnot. So we appreciate it. Until next time, be safe out there.